Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. As you already know, in response to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, Drake turns around and dropped the Hard 6. And in that song, Drake tried to make it seem like he Oceaned 11 Kendrick. He pulled an Italian job. He did the Mission Impossible. Not only does Drake claim that he set up Kendrick and fed him all of the information about the secret daughter, but he also wants us to believe that he baited Kendrick Lamar with a secret suitcase that he filled with contents that he knew that Kendrick Lamar was going to use for the content of his next song and his album cover. And because he's clairvoyant, he placed that suitcase in a place where he knew that Kendrick Lamar's inside man or inside woman was going to come along and pick up that suitcase and take it back to Kendrick Lamar, and then they were all going to look in the suitcase and they were going to use all of that information, including a leather Maybach glove, against him on Kendrick's next diss track. Oh my goodness, Drake done watched one too many episodes of Lupin. Anyhow, one person aside from me who believes that Drake is wilding out right now is Tariq Nasheed. Check out what Tariq said after Drake dropped the Hard 6.
Drake just put out a response. He was denying all of the pedo accusations. He felt like he had to deny all the pedo accusations. So he was denying that, which is understandable. But then at the end, he started almost having an emotional breakdown almost. And it wasn't a good look. At the end, he was like kind of tapping out to a certain degree. It got real light skinned at the end. It got real light skinned at the end. Drake's last response was kind of weak. Basically, he's like, let me address these pedo accusations and, let me just kind of low-key say I ain't gonna do it no more. Basically, he was alluding to he was kind of splaining. Yeah, at the end of the song, he's kind of splaining. Why you lying on me? You ain't telling the truth. Okay. Yeah, K-Dot got this. Kendrick got it. Kendrick is hungrier. He's the underdog. Oh, Kendrick got him. I can't play some of it. I don't want to get a strike. Kendrick got him. Now, just from a strategic standpoint, how could you come back from this? I just like to look at things from a strategic standpoint. A hypothetical strategic standpoint. So you're a rapper, you're the top rapper out here. Now last time when Pusha T, the underdog, got in Drake's ass, they had to go get the OG. Drake had to tap out by having the OG step in, Jay Prince, and say, hey, you know what, we're not gonna do this. We all gotta take the high road. So Jay Prince had to come save him. You can't do that now, because Drake is out here dissing, and Drake is out here Billy Badass, and he's getting clapped on. So how could Drake come back from this? How can Drake come back? Because this is a bad look for Drake. Oh, this is a bad look. This is a bad look. Drake has two options. Drake either has to go extremely high road or low. Drake is going to have to get with Kirk Franklin and do a gospel album and say, hey, I'm born again, I'm giving my life to the Lord. Or he's going to have to open up an orphanage in Somalia and say, hey, look, I don't have time for rap beef. I'm out here feeding these babies in Somalia. He's going to have to make a big deflection. He's going to have to take the high road to tap out so he don't look like a punk. He has to do some charity work. He has to open up an orphanage somewhere and do charity work and say, hey, look, me and J. Cole, we're going to go out here and feed hungry babies. He's going to have to tap out on the high road. All right? He's going to have to say, oh, this petty beefing is beneath me. He's going to have to go there. He's going to have to open up a school for the handicapped. He's going to have to do something as a deflection so he can use as an excuse to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put my energy into something more constructive. He's going to have to open up a...
He said that Drake's gonna have to drop a gospel song with Kirk Franklin. I am done. Anyhow, in his song The Hard 6, Drake tries to refute the allegations that he's a predator by saying that he don't be looking at teenagers. However, recently, a former teenager has come out and said that he couldn't even get with his high school crush because she was always over at Drake's house. Check this out.
So I'm from Canada, so obviously I wanted, Drake to win. But if I'm being real with you, bro, growing up in high school, 16, 17, 18, having a crush on the baddest girl in your school, and then seeing her post at Drake's mansion every single time, seeing Drake in the follows, you don't know how demoralizing that is to a young teenage boy in Canada. So if I'm gonna be real, I've been waiting for this guy's downfall for a minute. I'm gonna still bump his music because that shit goes crazy, but this is for the younger generation. They don't have to deal with that bullshit no more.
Yo, that right there is jacked up. Can you imagine being a young boy in high school and you have a crush on a girl and you want to get with her, but you can't? Why? Because she's always over there partying at grown behind Drake's house. And then, my question for Drake would be, why in the world do you have a whole bunch of high school girls partying at your house? Yo, let me know something in the comments. By the time you were like 25 years old and you had graduated high school, went to college, or did whatever you were gonna do, were you still inviting 15, 16, 17-year-old high schoolers to your parties? And just so we're clear, I'm not talking about that type of backyard barbecue party where everybody is there, including your 95-year-old grandmother to your 2-year-old nephew sitting on lawn chairs, eating ribs and chicken and potato salad off of paper plates. I'm talking about a party party. Now, I don't know whether or not all the allegations that people are making when they're saying that Drake is like Diddy Jr. are true. However, I do know this. There are one too many stories of Drake palling around with high school students and jumping into young girls' DMs. I mean, once you reach a certain age, I should not find you in a young girl's DMs unless that young girl is your daughter or that message says, "Happy birthday to my favorite niece." I mean, really, at 40 years old, I cannot think of a legitimate reason outside of the familial relationship or maybe mentorship that a grown behind celebrity millionaire is on the phone to all hours of the night, giggling on the phone with young girls. No, mad sus. I mean, real talk. What in the world is Drake on the phone talking to these girls about? I know he's not on the phone like, yo, you got science tomorrow? Yo, you did all your homework? Nope, something ain't adding up. Alright, so as you already know, there was a drive-by shooting at BBL Drizzy's house the other night. According to reports, a car pulled up in front of Drake's house, which he calls the embassy, at 2 a.m. blasting music, and some guys that were in the car started shouting out obscenities. When one of Drake's security guards, which was posted up outside the gate, went to check on what all the commotion was about, pow-pows rang out, and the security guard was popped in the chest. After the pow-pow and the car sped off, but one of the people who was in the car took off on foot, and Drake's security guard was found unconscious in the middle of the street before being rushed to the hospital for serious yet non-life-threatening injuries and undergoing emergency surgery. As of now, the condition of Drake's security guard is still unknown. But we do know that Toronto police have confirmed that they had to return back to Drake's house around 2 p.m. on Wednesday to arrest another intruder who tried to get into Drake's crib. When speaking about the incident, a rep for the Toronto police said officers were called after a person attempted to gain access to the property. The person was apprehended under the Mental Health Act. Now, after Drake's house got sprayed, the security guard got hit, and the intruder tried to get in. A whole bunch of people, including Ice Cube, were like, see, this is the problem with rap beefs. They have the tendency to escalate, get volatile, and spiral out of control. Check this out.
Beefs are, they're volatile. So you always have to be careful that a beef doesn't turn into a murder. Back in the day, you do a diss record, but it would stay kind of somewhat in the hip hop community. Now, it's all over the world, all walks of life know what's going on, and some people can't really take that kind of humiliation. I don't really like seeing rappers beef. I don't think it is necessary to have a great career, but it happens. Hey, it's part of the game. And I think when you're in a beef, you can't really hold back. It's like being in a fight. You can't really half punch. You got to go all the way.
Listen, Ice Cube is right. Beef is beef, and rap beef has always been part of the game. You've always had two dudes or two chicks or two crews going at it, releasing verbal bombs in an effort to annihilate the competition. But this beef was different, and I'm gonna tell you why. Similar to real war, the technology has changed. And when the technology changes during a war, the fallout is much greater. For example, when Ice Cube was going back and forth with NWA and he released No Vaseline, that was like the American Revolution of rap beef. You know how when you watch those old war movies and you see those soldiers lining up on the hill, looking at each other face to face with the drummer playing in the background? And they slowly marched towards each other as they loaded up their muskets with gunpowder that had like one shot. That right there is how rap beefs were when Ice Cube dropped No Vaseline. I mean, rappers used to have to write their raps, go to the studio, record the track with the engineer, take that DAT to be mastered, print a bunch of cassettes, and then mail those cassettes out to the record companies and wait for the record to be played on the radio, which could take like weeks or months. And then, in order to get a response from their opponent, we had to wait like another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. But what we just saw, what we just witnessed, was the World War III of rap beefs. Because what Kendrick Lamar and Drake just showed us is that now, because of technology, you can drop verbal nukes on your opponent within minutes. Which is absolutely crazy, because never ever before in the history of hip-hop history have you had two rappers go at it and drop 3 or 4 diss tracks on each other in a matter of like 2-3 weeks. And to both of their credit, both Kendrick and Drake, none of those songs that they dropped were duds. But herein lies the situation. These two superpowers can't go back and forth forever, or it's going to turn into like a Vietnam situation, and nobody wants a Vietnam situation. Or even worse, this could turn into mutually assured destruction. Now, personally, I already believe that Drake waved that white flag and that Kendrick Lamar has already won. However, a whole bunch of Drake loyalists like DJ Akademiks, who might I add, referred to Kendrick Lamar as a dusty ninja, are never going to concede and acknowledge that Kendrick took the victory. Source, can you please show that clip where DJ Akademiks calls Kendrick Lamar a dusty ninja?
Nigga, I listen to Drake raps like, nigga, it's like the Bible. So when I see a dusty nigga like Kendrick, I'm like, yo, get this no deodorant wearing, like barefoot, like, get the flame this nigga up. I'm sorry, I lose my voice, like going crazy. But I'm sorry, like when I look at Drake rapping, it's top tier, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yo, did this dude right here just say that he listens to Drake's raps like they're the Bible, and then in the same breath turn around and say that Kendrick Lamar is a dusty ninja that needs some deodorant? See, the loyalists are never gonna concede. So my question is, how do you end it? How do you end this war between these two superpowers if no side is willing to concede, but we don't want this beef to end with like everything bleeding into the streets? Are we fine if everything ends right here and both camps go back to their corners and resume business as usual? Or do we need one of these dudes to throw a knockout punch that is so powerful that the other one is down on the mat talking about no mas, like Roberto Duran did when he was fighting Sugar Ray Leonard? Let me know in the comments. But before I go, let me tell you about your girl Cardi B. The other day, Cardi B went to the Met Gala, and I mean, Cardi B had on a beautiful dress. Beautiful dress. I mean, it took like 6-7 people to help Cardi get up the stairs. So, when Cardi gets on the red carpet at the point where like the interviewers are asking you, who made your dress? They ask her, who made your dress? And Cardi B forgot who made the dress. So she responded by saying, they're Asian and everything.
But you feel amazing? Who made this?
I feel amazing. It's this amazing designer. They're Asian and everything, so yeah.
Source, can we please see a picture of that dress?
Oh my God.
Hopefully Hopefully that video played, but you never know. So, source, can you please show him another picture of the dress? Okay, so after Cardi B told the interviewer at the Met Gala that her dress was custom made by some Asian, Cardi B received a whole bunch of backlash, especially from Vogue's director Gilbert Che, who was offended by her lack of knowledge. And Gilbert Che said, for the record and recognition, and no thanks to Cardi B, the designer of the gown is Sin Sen Lee, who's Chinese. The gown took 2 months to make. I personally think it's boring and not even on theme, but she chose it and should have at least remembered his name and not just said he's Asian. Now, you know just as well as I know, and I know just as well as you know, that Cardi B does not like backlash. So, Cardi jumped on Instagram to explain what happened during that particular situation. Check out what Cardi had to say.
Hi guys, I want to make this very clear because I see a former director of Vogue trying to be funny, or like maybe because he felt offended about something or whatever. And I see a lot of you guys fake gagging on Twitter, but I want to make this very clear, right? First things first, when I was on the carpet, I was very scared because the dress was supposed to be like on a little podium, and I've been practicing how to pose on the podium, but at the carpet I wasn't allowed to use the podium, so I had a lot of things on my mind, and I was being rushed to the front of the line. So when I was getting interviewed, I kind of forgot to pronounce the designer's name because his name is a little bit complicated. So I was like, damn, how to pronounce his name? Like my mind was just racing.
Hold on a minute, Cardi. I gotta check you on that. Because saying Sen Sen Lee is no less or more complicated than saying Cardi B. Alright, let's continue.
I think the former director of Vogue, he got offended because I said Asian designer. I said Asian designer because I know that the designer was Asian, but I wasn't sure what nationality the designer was. And I feel like it's offensive if I was to be like, oh, some Chinese designer, or some Korean designer, or some Vietnamese designer, because I feel like I don't want to get somebody's nationality mixed up. So I said an Asian designer. So I didn't say that to be offensive or to get your little Speedos in a bunch, but I do feel like as a person that work in fashion, I feel like the designer and my stylist, we work really hard for this theme. So for you to be kind of shady because you feel offended or whatever, it just proves why you're the former director. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're trying to offend me, but you're actually offending the people that work behind the scenes. You're actually offending the people that spend hours and hours on phone calls and on Zooms and money on this design just because you got offended by a comment that I made without truly not even knowing why I said it how I said it. And for you guys to talk about like, oh, she don't know this, she's not a fashion, she's this, she's not gonna get invited this year. Baby, I'm Cardi B.
Listen, you keep forgetting people's names on the red carpet and you might not be Cardi B in a few years. Listen, I understand what she's saying. She was nervous and she forgot the designer's name. That dress was mad heavy. However, Cardi B also has to understand that the Met Gala is for fashion designers, with the Grammys is for like musical artists. So her not saying that designer's name is almost like somebody going up there and being like, and the Grammy goes to, some rapper. Can't remember their name right now, but it's some rapper. Oh, you know what? It's a black rapper. I think if that happened to her, she might be slightly offended too. Now, do I think that Cardi B was trying to be insensitive, racist, or anything like that? No, I don't. I think she made an honest mistake. But I do think that Cardi B might want to find some way to make it up to that fashion designer by promoting their work and their name, Sen Sen Lee, on some other large platform. Because the same way that Cardi B wants recognition for all of her hard work, other people want recognition for their hard work too. Listen, let me know what you think about Tariq Nasheed dissing Drake, the young boy who said that like when he was in high school, he couldn't get with his crush because his high school crush was always at Drake's house. DJ Akademiks saying that Kendrick Lamar is mad dusty and looks like he doesn't wear deodorant. Ice Cube saying that he's not a fan of rap beefs because they usually become too volatile and that ends up with somebody getting moited. And also, Cardi B saying during the Met Gala that her dress was custom made by an Asian. Let me know what you think about out all of that in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.